Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Sansing. I'm the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, and the name of this show is What's Going On in Corpus Christi. I'm trying to follow in the big shoes of one Joe O'Brien, who started the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association years ago, did an excellent job, was trying to protect your money, and saved you taxpayers a whole lot of money. And then when he stepped down because of health reasons, then Mr. Jack Gordy took over, and he's saved you taxpayers out there a whole bunch of money and informed you of an awful lot of things. And then when I thought Jack was going to leave town, he nominated me to be president, and here I am, and I've got some real big shoes to fill, folks. And my hat's off to both of those gentlemen to teach me a little bit about what the taxpayers should be doing. I thought I knew, but that was a real education for me. And since I'm here, I'm going to try to educate you fine folks. And my request is, since silence is not the answer, that's what Joe used to sign off with all the time, Mr. O'Brien, then I totally believe that. If you remain silent and you don't go vote, you don't exercise your right, if you can't make it down to a city council meeting and so forth, then call your representative, your city council person, and jump up and down on them. Chances are you won't get a response. Usually I think most people get a response out of Mayor Nelda Martinez, but that's not a guarantee either at times. So anyway, I've been trying to get a hold of Chad McGill, so if you know Mr. McGill, would you tell him just to show me the common courtesy as being a taxpayer and somebody that voted for him to go ahead and just contact me. It's important that you do so, Mr. McGill. Okay. Now I've got several things in here. One of the things that has upset me lately was that reroute of the Shoreline Boulevard down there. And there have been a whole lot of flack kicked up about this, and I just want to let you know that you've been bamboozled, taxpayers, for lack of anything else. Now we had a person. He's my boss at Del Mar College. He's the president, chair, whatever that is, of the Del Mar College Board of Regents. One Trey McCampbell. He's a high-rolling banker around town, and you people decided you'd vote him in over there at the Board of Regents at Del Mar College. I think he's aspiring for probably city council next, and probably mayor and governor and president or whatever else comes up. Del Mar College Board of Regents is a stepping stone in many cases to higher up political office, as we saw with Chris Adler and now Carol Scott and some of these other people. So anyway, we'll see what happens, and Carol's husband, Mark Scott, I'm sure is going to be running for mayor here one of these days. That seems to be ingrained in some of these people. Now, Mr. McCampbell is not fond of me. I preach things at Del Mar College when he and his other Board of Regents members have got their blinders on and won't see what's truly going on over there. They've had some severe accounting irregularities that they claim they never saw, and we've got some administrators over there that are out to lunch at these days and times, and Del Mar College is suffering severely with that, particularly the employees. Okay, now faculty members are the backbone of that college, and I, as a faculty member of 25 plus years at Del Mar College, wholeheartedly believe that the only function for the administration over there, which has gotten way out of hand, way too expensive, way too bloated, as the Wall Street Journal said, administrative bloat, and then we give raises for 10%, and while the rest of us get none, to the president, and then $15,000 performance bonuses for, I don't know what, getting us $157 million further in the hole on these bond issues and stuff, and then buying 95 acres of ground that looks like the devil out there. It's a jungle out at Rodfield and Yorktown Road. We're going to increase the enrollment. We're bursting at the seams, although we're 18% down over the past couple of years. then you know, I don't know what other blather that these people want to throw at you. But that Board of Regents is so gullible, you know, maybe I'll go try to sell them the Old Harbor Bridge when it comes down, and tell them they can use it for a toll road over here at the recycling center. But, you know, the whole thing is total insanity, folks. And if you don't get out and vote and you remain silent, silence is not the answer, according to Mr. O'Brien, Jack Gordy, and myself. So you better perk up. Now, I'm still under lawsuit from the city because I opposed the tearing down of the Memorial Coliseum. I'll be perfectly honest with you. 4 other people and I went down and had a judge halt the demolition of that, signed a bond for $30,000. Mr. Carlos Valdez, who thank God is not one of the district judges here, and he's gone from the city. I think he's still got a big influence down there over city politics, but at least he's not the city attorney, and thank everything that's holy, he's not still district attorney, because that was you know, his reign was just unbelievable. But in that tearing down of the Memorial Coliseum, which I've been sued for, then there was a reroute of Shoreline Boulevard. So I just want to read you some you know, put out. Now, after these came out, the Caller Times, which is a real suck-ups to the city council members down there, and the city advertises their suck-ups with Del Mar College, won't say anything about Del Mar College shenanigans over there as far as administrative, the accounting irregularities go, without being forced. Then they came out with this Shoreline Boulevard route is a thing of beauty. Now, let me tell you what the local citizens have done as far as letters to the editor. James E. Burke, Shoreline Boulevard route bad design. I read the editorial Sunday morning, which I think is this one, okay? Shoreline Boulevard reroute is a thing of beauty. Okay, that's what he's saying. Okay, praising the rerouting of Shoreline. Shoreline route is a thing of beauty. That sure does not reflect my experience driving on a rerouted roadway. There are narrow lanes with a huge amount of space not being used for anything. It really is upsetting to see a natural attraction shown in such a poor manner. After driving in both directions on the rerouted roadway, I must say it was a real disappointment. The sharp turn near People Street is poorly designed and way too sharp. All the open space along the area where the Memorial Coliseum used to be is nothing more than an eyesore now. Okay? It is such a shame to see a beautiful area turned into what is there now. Let us get some developers to devise an appropriate tourist attraction that we can be proud of. We don't have it now. Okay? All right. And then we've got one here, Let the Sun Shine on Public Records. I'll discuss that one in a minute. Let's see here. Mr. Joseph A. Coyle, C-O-Y-L-E, reroute of Shoreline, no thing of beauty. First, allow me to applaud the editorial board in their attempt to put a positive spin on the Shoreline Boulevard reroute. Yay. Now for the business at hand. Your editorial states that there are 4 intersections where left-hand turns are possible. What about the parking lots at Whataburger and the Arts Center? Don't they count? Okay. The editorial further states that we still can see the bay. Well, if you can see and do so while driving, you have exceptionally increased your possibility of having a head-on collision. After all, there's no buffer anywhere, not even a left-hand turn lane. Also, when did the editorial board become traffic engineers? I quote, 2 lanes each way are sufficient for the volume of traffic. Really? In whose judgment? Question mark. On what do you base this statement? Question mark. Opinion? Question mark. Finally, if this change had to do with pedestrian safety, the public's money would have been better spent by establishing pedestrian crosswalks with push-button traffic lights at periodic intervals. That's just my opinion. Mr. Coyle wrote. Okay? And the beat goes on. Just let me see this one. Few benefits of shoreline realignment. This is Rolfe Woods. Having just now driven through the curvaceous new rerouted Shoreline Boulevard, I am truly mystified. What engineer thought it would be a good idea to make a beautiful divided 6-lane boulevard into a circuitous undivided? Okay? It's only divided throughout the intervals that are not at intersections. Non-boulevard that has no left-hand turns and very narrow emergency lanes? Question marks. Perhaps there should be a permanent caution detour sign at each end. Possibly it was the same person responsible for designing the ludicrous ADA ramps at all the corners in town that have 6-inch high curbs jutting out into the roadway. It's fortunate that there are a couple of very good ERs nearby. The only beneficiaries of these horrible designs will be tow truck drivers and body shops. Oh my. Ridiculous Shoreline Boulevard reroute. Adam Ayala. Okay. What is it with this city? Is there anyone, or is there not anyone in the city planning that looks forward properly towards growth of this city? Is the Shoreline Boulevard bypass a joke? We go from 3 lanes to 2 and no turning lanes. Tell me this is all temporary and other plans are in the works. If not, I have only one word to explain it: dumbfounded. There's one on trash cityscape that I won't bother with that one. And then city leaders used the trash. Okay, now then Nick Jimenez chimes in here, and he said, change comes slowly to the city. The new section of Shoreline Boulevard opened last week, and the sky didn't fall. Okay, neither were there thunderclaps of retribution from angry gods, nor the city going to hell in a handbasket. Nope. The only thing that has changed is that drivers are going north on Shoreline, now swinging west on McCawn Parkway in a new 4-lane section of the pavement. That's right. For less than a mile, Shoreline Boulevard no longer goes along the bayshore. And then he goes on with this. And he's kind of wishy-washy with that one. Okay. And then, you know, we've got all this other stuff that's going on. It's just unbelievable, folks. But here's the caller time. Shoreline Boulevard reroute is a thing of beauty. And all I can say to that is, according to all of the other things that have been said down there, except the caller times, it's abysmal failure, folks. So I don't know what to tell you, okay? Then we have other things. We have officials pursue Chinese investments with the TPCO. People going to China and back. We're schmoozing all those people. And then here's one that really galls me. It says, local leaders slam EPA rule change. Now what the Environmental Protection Agency does, folks, is they take a look and they are interested. I know several of the people that are with them. Okay, they can get off a little bit. They err on the side of caution, thank goodness for us. But I'll go back to the days when I was, and still am, the chair of the Clean Economy Coalition. And we fought Las Brisas Energy Center, which was going to pollute us into oblivion. And I kept saying to the public, and so did all the members of CEC, Sierra Club, Environmental Defense Fund, the Environmental Integrity Project, and a lot of other people across the nation, folks, including EPA, that we were going to take, if Las Brisas Energy Center had been built, and thank everything holy it was not, okay, then we would have been putting our air quality into what is called non-attainment. And when you go into non-attainment at the federal level, folks, they will come in and demand that you put the little rubber boots on the gasoline pumps and so forth. When you fill your car up, they have to reclaim those vapors that usually escape, you know, when you want to stand upwind from when you go ahead and pump your gas around here. I mean, you can get little puffs of gasoline odor. And then the particulate matter, which will plug kids' lungs up and kill infants. And then it will also kill cardiac patients. But when you get to a certain point, when you've got the pollution like ozone and so forth, then the government puts you into non-attainment, which means you're not attaining the levels that are healthy for normal human beings. So we fought Las Brisas Energy Center, a great number of people. I'm not just tooting my own horn. If I hadn't had all the backing from hundreds of people, it would never have been, we'd already be breathing all that soot and crap from that place. Okay? But we kept preaching non-attainment. Now, local leaders slam EPA rule change. Houston Air makes efforts futile, they say. Houston Air blowing into Corpus Christi could force businesses here to pay millions in air quality control measures if a proposed Environmental Protection Agency rule change becomes law. Well, I've preached that it's going to become law because on ozone you can go from now what is standard and acceptable, which is 75 parts per billion, okay, by shifting that standard to 65 to 70 parts per billion. Could spell disaster for businesses, Corpus Christi leaders said Friday. Now, where in the world were you, Corpus Christi leaders, when you were pushing and fighting and scrambling for Las Brisas Energy Center, that several billion-dollar plant that was going to go up, which was going to bring all these jobs into town and all this money for you real estate cartel people down there at City Council, and it was just going to be the greatest thing that ever happened to Corpus Christi, Texas. There wasn't a whimper out of any of you people about running us into non-attainment. Now, then all of a sudden, since EPA is going to say, look, for the health and welfare of the people in this country, in these neighborhoods along the coast like Houston and stuff, Houston's in non-attainment, okay? Then they have to go through having their exhaust checked on their cars during inspection. They have to have the boots and so forth, which runs the cost of gasoline up at the pump, and so forth and so on. And then their insurance goes up, and there are a lot of economic factors. But now all of a sudden, you sit here, you community leaders, it says, okay, and it's just incorrigible to me that you're now going to blame it on Houston for all the ozone coming down here. If I look every day, I've got time after time after time, we've got a local business or a new one coming in requesting through the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for new air permits and so forth and so on. We're going to up particulate matter, we're going to up ozone, we're going to up benzene and all this other stuff. And you guys sit down there and drool as a cartel along with the city council and these local leaders, whatever the hell that means, okay? That means the guys that are out after your money, taxpayers. Then here we are, they're getting all goosey about EPA changing the rules to protect the health and welfare of the citizens of the United States. And obviously you guys can't handle it, okay? So where were you in the middle of the Las Brisas energy thing when several of us, a lot of us spent a lot of money, time, and effort to make sure that that baby-killing Las Brisas Energy Center didn't go in? Okay? So why your change of heart right now? Okay? Because it's going to affect your pocketbooks? Well, all I can say is, what's your health worth? And what's the health of your family worth? Okay? All right, and then we have Delmar at it again. Now Delmar regents went out and along with the president and got $157 million bond so that we can improve East Campus and West and put buildings up here, there, and the other way place, since we're bursting at the seams with enrollment. Now our enrollment, if you really want to know, has gone down in this manner, okay? Now 2008 we had 11,310 students, 2009 12,069. went up in 2010 to 12,236, dropped a little bit in 2011 to 12,071, 2012 went down to 11,030, and then 2013 down to 10,502, 2014 is 10,459, so okay, and then 2015 we're down to 9,992. Now, it says here, board urges 10% more based on enrollment. And this is early funding, okay? So this is what Del Mar College proposes to do, is to get 10% more based on enrollment. Now, if the enrollment went from a peak of 12,236 in 2010 down to 9,992, and this in 2015, folks, for the fall semester, then what's going on? Who's pulling whose leg with this tripe? And then to get $157 million for buildings and so forth to improve East and West Campus, because we're bursting at the seams with enrollment. It hadn't been a problem before this. Okay, and then we go out and buy 95 acres of ground at Rodfield and Yorktown Boulevard, and that place looks like hell out there. I mean, it's a jungle, and we were told that it was going to be manicured and stuff to code enforcement standards by our president, and that hasn't happened. But you know what's going on, folks. All I can tell you is you're being bamboozled one more time. And then Nueces Commissioner's debt but no taxes okayed. County aims for upgrade of infrastructure. And, you know, look out. There's something going to be wrong with that. I don't trust the county commissioners any further than I can throw City Hall down here. And then we've got the water rate talks. We're talking about going up on rates, and, you know, that we're going dry and so forth and so on. And then the Caller Times on the 13th of March chimes in with, we have more water but also more users. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Okay. And then if on the February 25th it says water plan change eyed, measures of storage don't reflect reality. City Council doesn't reflect reality in many cases, folks. So, you know, it's very hard for me to understand what's going on around here. And then you're being bamboozled all the time. Now, I've been involved with also trying to figure out how and why Del Mar College is able to write off in bad debts, they call it, $2,838,000 some odd dollars. That's 2007. Okay. Now digest that. That's $2,838,000 plus write-off that we don't know where the money went. Now, in August of 2013, I stumbled on the fact that Del Mar College wanted to write off $185,000 plus. So I went over and finally got a list of those write-offs. I requested all of those for that period of time. Got a 5-foot stack of paper, went through almost every page of it, found 3 critical pages that indicated that $185,000 had been written off. Now, I also asked for any evidence that those funds were tried to collect those. That would mean certified return receipts, filings in the court, you know, for people to pay up and so forth and so on. And in that stack of 5 feet of paper, not a single one of those green cards, they're called, the return receipt, certified return receipt cards, were there to prove that anybody had been contacted. And when I looked down the list of that, and I called in my friend Ed Bennett, who's an MBA, CPA, accountant, and you know, a lot of experience, and he knows what's going on when he sees these records. So what happened in the middle of that, folks, was Texas A&M Kingsville owed us $54,000 plus, and Del Mar College wrote it off. There was no mention, no evidence that they ever tried to collect that. Now, we've tried to get that information along with some of the local TV reporters, and we can't get it out of Kingsville. Everybody's clammed up. So I guess what's going to happen is I have just joined the Freedom of Information Foundation of Texas. I sent them some money just yesterday, okay? And I'm going to use their attorneys up there to give me some advice on who I can go to find out what in the world is going on at Del Mar College. And a lot of these other entities, the city and everybody else around here that refuse to provide me and Mr. Bennett and you people out there with information under Public Information Act request. And then all I can say is we've got this massive cover-up over here. Now, it's all blamed on a conversion from one accounting system to the other, and normally if that happens and it's not successful, heads roll. But we've got people over there, and our biggest deficit and the biggest gap in professional accounting at Del Mar College is we do not have anyone over there that has passed the CPA test. There's a sign in the hall that says internal auditor over there, and you walk down the hall and that office is closed. There is no internal auditor. The CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, is an EDD in agricultural education, and to my knowledge has never taken a single accounting class in his life. And then we've got all of these accounting irregularities, and nobody wants to do anything except just try to brush us off, charge us $26.7 million for the request, 20 years to get the information, and Public Information Act requests go unheeded. It is time after time after time. Now that costs you people a good bit of money. So to this morning I went ahead and I've asked for an update on the billings from our extremely expensive 4 attorneys that are billing Del Mar College on a regular basis to find out what in the world's going on. And I'm sure that I'm going to get another delay because every time we ask for the information, oh well, it's going to take another few days to get this, it's a massive amount of information, and they are in total violation because we do not have a person who is adept at and who understands the Public Information Act request in the state of Texas. Okay? Now they farm it out to this real expensive attorney up there in Austin, and he just refuses everything and writes these very, very expensive letters and asking the opinion of the Texas Attorney General to tell them whether they need to release information or not. And they just do that routinely to try to stifle us taxpayers from that. So something's got to change over there, and change in a big damn hurry, folks, because I'm sick and tired of it, and I don't have to put up with it, and I'm too old and cranky to turn the other way. And now I've got my employer through my department chair and my dean after my butt and trying to build a case to get rid of me. Okay? And I don't think that's going to happen. So my advice to Del Mar is just to heed the following. This is my theme song. I'm still here, but you are gone, Doodar. And I was right and you were wrong, oh Doodar day. So if you want to challenge me at that level, folks, then you've already done that. And all I can say is, you know, go home and explain to the family why you're gone. That's all I can say, because I'm going to stick in here, folks, and I'm not afraid of a damn thing. Nothing. Okay? Not a thing, except embarrassing my family members, my direct family members. And that's not going to happen. Okay? So, there you go. Good night. All right, Ed. I'm going to leave it with you, buddy. You'll turn the phones back on and see if you're through planting that planter that you built. And you may need some liniment here pretty quick. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a few minutes, bud.